So in this video, we are going to learn what are the characteristics of management, because this is a very important point which you need to understand. There might be 1 marks question, 3 marks question, or even a 5 marks question. So this is a very important point which you need to understand, because this will help you get better marks in your exams. So let us understand what are the characteristics of management. So what do we understand by management? Management comes from the word manage, which means obviously to manage the resources or the people or the finances of a company. So these are the points which you can see here. These are the 7 points: goal oriented process, pervasive, multidimensional, continuous, group activity, dynamic functions, and intangible force. So what you need to remember here, especially if you want to understand, because what I want you to understand is the concept. If you understand the concept of anything, so it becomes much more easier to explain it, because in an exam what you're doing is explaining the questions, understanding the question and explaining what the examiner is looking from you. So first thing is goal oriented process. Obviously, it's a goal oriented process. The objective of management is to achieve a specific goal. It can be to achieve better profit, increase the productivity, or reduce the overall cost or the margin. It can be anything. So every manager or the management decides the objective that has to be fulfilled by the whole team, by the company. So this is a very important thing. Next thing is pervasive. So, what is pervasive? If you have not heard about this word, this means omnipresent or universal, right? So, you can universal in place of pervasive as well. So, what does it mean? Let's go through it. Management is universal in nature. It is used in all types of organization, whether economic, social, political, irrespective of its size, nature, location, and at every level. So, what it means is management is required everywhere, even if you're cooking, right? So you are managing all the resources. You have to put salt in a limited quantity. You have to use the gas in a limited quantity. If you are burning too much of gas, you might run out of gas very quickly, or you might burn the food that you're cooking. So here also there is management required. So similarly, management is omnipresent, and this is a very simple. It's self-explanatory. So let's move to the next point. Multidimensional. What does it mean? It is multidimensional as it involves management of work, people, operations. Every organization is established for doing some work, like school provides education, a factory produces. The management has to ensure that the participation of its people in the realization of the organization's goal. Also, management needs to conduct the various operations such as production, sale, purchase. So what it means is, so whenever you are doing something, this is not limited to, for example, in a company there is finance department, there is HR department, there is sales department, there is a marketing department, and also there is a customer care department as well. So it is not like that there is only management required in finance or the management required in sale. Management is required everywhere, in every aspect of a business, right? So there is a finance manager, there is a sales manager, there is a customer support manager as well. So this is a very important thing. What you can do is, you can explain the whole thing is, management is multidimensional, and it involves all the factors, all the operations, all the people who are related to the production or the business. Every organization is established for doing some kind of a work, because when you're opening up a school, you are providing education, you are watching this video to learn something, right? So here also we have to manage the content, we have to make the content, we have to organize the content, we have to upload it. So there's a lot of management going on. It is just not a video, it's a product of a management, a well managed system, that is SkillYogi. And the next point is continuous. And management is not like that you have it's like a pill that you take in the morning and you take at the night. No, it's a continuous process, and it has to improve. It's a dynamic function as well. I'm going to explain that. It's a continuous process, that it's not limited to, you'll do management from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. No, it has to be done across all the activities that is being organized or that is involved in the business itself, like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. Continuously it has to be done by the management and by all the people who are involved in a company which is producing or giving a service to their customers. And it's a group activity. In a business, there is a CEO, there is a CFO, there is a manager, there is a chairman, there is a salesperson, there is a clerk. So there are a lot of people who are involved in running a business or even a school. And even when you're doing a group activity, for example, if when you're playing cricket, there is a wicket keeper, there is a batsman, there is a bowler, and there are other people who are in the field. So it's a group activity. So management is a group activity since it involves managing and coordinating different activities, including different people who work as a team to basically attain a specific objective, a goal. Here you can see a specific goal which is being defined. And the next point is dynamic function. As I said, every time if something is not working, you change your strategy, then you move forward. Similarly, for example, if you're playing a match and if the spin bowler is not working well, it's not working, so what you do, you use your pacer. So this is how it's a dynamic function. So you have to adapt according to the requirement, time, situation. You have to focus on the end result, how you can reach there. If some changes has to be done, you have to do it. For example, McDonald's made major changes in its menu to survive in the Indian market, because McDonald's, they typically sell beef burgers or pork burgers, but in India, beef burgers do not work, pork burgers do not work. So that is the reason why they had to make their menus, they have to change their menus. Indians like to eat spicy food, but in America they are, they cannot, they rather not prefer spicy food. So it is very important if you want to survive and if you want to run a business properly and profitably. And the final point is intangible force. And a lot of times this question might be asked as well, that why management is intangible. Like, what does intangible mean? Intangible is something which you cannot touch, see, or, it's not a material thing, right? So management, similarly, management is something which you cannot touch, right? You cannot see, you cannot see like a bottle, you cannot see management, but you can see how it is organized, how it is put forward, and how it is enforced. It's a force which cannot be seen, its presence can be felt. That's it. Management or mismanagement can be felt, but it cannot be seen. So when the goals of an organization are being realized in accordance with the plans, we can say that the management of the organization is good. For example, if a company wants to improve its profit, if it is selling a product for 100 rupees, and if it wants to sell it at 110 rupees, what does it need to do? For example, it has to sell more, or maybe reduce the cost. So if through management, if they are able to attain both, they will be able to sell it from 100 rupees to 110 rupees, and they will be able to achieve the objective, like selling it at higher price and reducing the overall cost. So they have achieved two goals, and this means the management is good. So this is how you can understand what is management and what are the characters of management. What you need to remember is these keywords, these 8 points, and after that you can explain the points. When you understand the concept, and it becomes much more easier for you. Explain it in a very simple word. So if it's a 3 marks question, you can mention 3 points. If it's a 6 marks question or 5 marks question, try to mention all of them. If it's a 1 mark question, you can just mention the heading: goal oriented, pervasive, or universal, or multidimensional, and group activity, and that will be fine.